form updates the H1, but that's no way to make a list. And ultimately, we're making a list of these things, aren't we? So let's do something different. Let's make some sort of container down here where we can add the list so that it doesn't just keep replacing it every time. So you know what a div is? Anybody know what a div is? It kind of doesn't mean anything, right? It's just a container. So in HTML, there are block level elements and inline elements. Block level elements are those that have a line break before and after them, like a paragraph or a div or a form. Inline elements are those that do not automatically have line breaks before and after them, like an input or a button. We see that the input and button are side by side here, right? So those are not block level elements. The H1 is. That takes up a whole line. So div is the generic block level element, and span is the generic inline element. They don't mean anything. They're just containers. Like paragraph has some inherent meaning. Form has some inherent meaning. Div is fairly meaningless. So we're going to just stick a div down here to be a container. And I'm going to go ahead and give it an ID of Flix so that we can target it with JavaScript. And that's where I'm going to put whatever we put in the form. So a new div with an ID of Flix. And then what I want to happen when I submit the form is not change the heading, but add it to that. So I could change this selector here from H1 to #Flix. And then I'll name this something else like Flix div, something like that. Or it's ultimately going to be my list. You can name it list if you want, whatever. Let's call it list. And then we'll say list.textContent equals flick name. So let's see what that does for us. Refresh. How about another Chris Evans deep cut, Scott Pilgrim versus the world. There we go. So let's just start typing another one. Oh, I have to backspace over this. Oh, so much work. All right, what's another one? What's another good one? Let's see. How about Snowpiercer? Another Evans. It erased it still, right? So at least we're not replacing our heading, but this is kind of silly still. So how can I change this? How can I change line 10 so that it doesn't blow away what's already there? Yes, again, Kieran. That is what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to append instead of replace. But how do I do that? Yes. Hold on. I know. I don't know, but I know you knew more dinosaurs. You knew pterodactyls. Oh, yeah, Sadie. I'm sorry? Ooh, that's getting fancy. We don't have to get that complicated just yet. But I like where your head's at, but we're not going to make it quite that difficult just yet. How can I just change this line, just to make a very, very small change to this line to make it not blow away the text that's already there? Yeah, Kindle. Yeah, how about that? You ever used that? No. Plus equals? Right. String concatenation, why not? The look in your face is just, you're looking very, very neutral and pleasant. But as I caught you in the corner of my eye, what I imagine is a little thought bubble saying, bunch of amateurs. Of course it's plus equals. But you really didn't do anything to deserve that interpretation. It just amused me to think that. So that's the same thing as writing equals list.textContent plus flick name, right? So yes, the plus equal operator totally works in JavaScript. So let's check that out. What's your favorite Chris mess? Rebecca. Isn't it Rebecca? Yeah. Okay. Captain America. All right. Now let's just start typing another title. Oh, gosh, backspace. Oh. Yeah, we're going to do something about that at some point, but I'm going to complain about it until we do. How about Ada, whose name I totally remembered without looking at the name tag? What do you say, Ada? What's your favorite Chris mess? Do you have one? Can you name one? Do you know any Chris's who aren't on the list even? Yeah. You don't know any Chris's at all. All right. What do you say there? Goes by the formal version of a very common name. Thomas? Okay, yep. Captain America, again, Civil War. Oh, look, they're all smashed together. We knew this was going to happen, right? Yeah. We've done this before. So how about we just put string with a single space in it and add that in there. So then we could say Captain America, the First Avenger, and Captain America, Winter Soldier, CATFA, Cause, Captain America, Civil War, Cacaw. Okay, so we got CATFA, Cause, and Cacaw. All right, what if we wanted them on like separate lines? How about \n? We've done that before, right? Sure, sounds great. So we got CATFA. Oops. I refresh the page. I start typing. Where else? My cursor's not in there. That ticks me off. All right, we'll come back to that. Let's get our CATFA, our Cause, our... Okay, with Chris Pine? Okay, fine. Oh, he was in that, yes. All right. What about my new lines? I've been betrayed. So on your Elements tab, you can always see what the DOM currently looks like. And it's worth pointing out, you can also get there very easily by right-clicking on the page and saying Inspect Element. Here we go. Here's our list. I see line breaks there. What gives? Yeah, we've been betrayed. So turns out white space kind of gets ignored, or at least kept compressed down to a single space. So let's just say we put all kinds of line breaks in here. Totally works. Look at all those line breaks. Doesn't matter. It's a single space. So this is nice because it means we can space things out and indent things however we want, and the indentation isn't going to affect the way it appears on the screen. But it is a problem for us right at the moment. So, okay. Did we ever commit any of this? Let me see. What's the last thing I committed? No. So, never mind all the line breaks. Let's at least, with the space in there, let's at least commit the fact that we've added items from the form to the div instead of replacing the heading. So now we can at least add multiple things to the list, right? So that's progress. Let's commit that before we make a bigger mess of things. So we'll flip over here. This commit will add flicks to a div. And don't forget, you have to push under this menu here.